We all know the story of the Tower of Babel. Humanity got arrogant, tried to build a tower to the heavens, and God punished them by confusing their language. It's a simple morality tale about pride. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the Tower of Babel wasn't about reaching the heavens, but about remembering our past? What if it wasn't a failure, but a sign of humanity's immense potential? Ancient texts tell us there was a time when all of humanity spoke one language. This wasn't just about using the same words. It was a shared consciousness, a unified way of perceiving reality, nature, and the cosmos itself. In many ancient cultures, language was seen as power. To give something a name was to understand its very essence. And to understand it was to have influence over it. Imagine a world where everyone saw and understood everything in the same way. When we picture the Tower of Babel, we think of a simple, tall building. But ancient builders were far more sophisticated. Think of the ziggurats, the pyramids, and the great temples. These structures weren't just piles of stone, they were masterpieces of sacred geometry, astronomical alignment, and symbolic meaning. They weren't ladders to the sky. They were interfaces, places where the earth, the heavens, and human consciousness could connect. So, what if the tower wasn't a building at all, but a system, a complex network of knowledge, language, and celestial alignment? In ancient thought, language could literally shape reality. Chanting mantras could alter consciousness. Speaking sacred names could invoke powerful forces. Symbols held layers upon layers of meaning. When humanity shared one language, it shared one worldview. There was no separation, no fragmentation, no conflicting interpretations of the truth. A unified humanity is an incredibly powerful force because it can't be easily divided and controlled. The story says the confusion of languages was sudden, deliberate. This wasn't a random event. Why? Because confusion is one of the oldest and most effective tools of control. When you divide language, you also divide memory, culture, identity, and the ability to cooperate. Once people can no longer truly understand each other, unity dissolves. And when unity dissolves, power shifts into the hands of the few. So, the real fear behind the Babel story wasn't that humanity was building too high. The fear was collective awareness. A humanity that fully understands itself and its place in the universe can not be ruled through secrets and mystery. Once knowledge is shared by everyone, any authority based on hidden information simply collapses. The Tower of Babel might represent the last moment humanity stood united, before knowledge was broken apart, localized, and controlled by a select few. Look at the world after Babel. Humanity scattered across the globe. Languages multiplied, cultures diverged, beliefs fragmented, knowledge became regional, and truth became relative. We ended up with countless competing narratives instead of one unified human story. This wasn't progress, it was containment. So why did this story survive? Because powerful myths are never erased, they're just reframed. The Tower of Babel was turned into a warning: don't unite too much, don't seek knowledge too deeply, don't share everything you know. But hidden beneath that warning is a memory, a quiet reminder that humanity was once undivided, and could be again. Think about our world today. We have infinite ways to communicate, yet we've never been more misunderstood. We have more information than ever, but less shared meaning. We live in a world of different languages, different truths, different realities. Babel didn't end. It just evolved into a more sophisticated system. So let's ask the forbidden question. What if the Tower of Babel wasn't destroyed? What if it was actually completed, not as a building, but as a permanent lesson etched into our collective psyche? The lesson that unity is dangerous to those who thrive on division, and that language isn't just speech, it's consciousness itself. The Tower of Babel wasn't humanity's greatest failure. It was a glimpse of our greatest potential. The confusion that followed wasn't a punishment, it was an interruption. Because when humanity speaks as one, it remembers who it truly is. Babel didn't fall because it reached too high. It fell because humanity was on the verge of becoming whole. Thanks for watching. If this idea resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more journeys into the stories that shape our world.